Hey everybody, sorry we're running a little late today. I had some technical problems. We have a special guest today, Parham and I. We have Ken Lambert from KT Fitness. He's a nutritionist and he's also a personal trainer. Let me give a little background before I introduce him. And I was just making fun of this issue. Even in my private medical practice, I don't make referrals unless if I know the person I'm referring to, and I have absolute confidence in the kind of work they do. So that since I've lived in Southern California, there's about two people I refer to for the 30 things that need to be done. I always tell patients, I don't know this guy, but I can refer you to him for this issue, but he doesn't come with my stamp of approval. So I'm pretty serious about this thing. And the person I have here today, Ken from KT Fitness, I happen to know very intimately well the quality and level of work that he does, and have brought him on to discuss this topic with Parham and I. And Parham is also somewhat engaged in, he's a basketball coach. I think you've been engaged in working out and things like that for many years. So with the topic again is nutrition and exercise and recovery. And hi, Ken. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. You want to tell us just a little bit of background about what you do? I know it's you and your wife, but give us a little bit of background and so that everyone can know where we're coming from.
Yeah, definitely. Prior to training, I was in high-end retail for about 14 years, and about 3 years ago was when I decided to do a career change, and when a lot really had to do with a lot of health issues that I've had personally, and with my wife as well, and we took matters in our own hands, and we just really took on a whole life of fitness, nutrition, and we just got certified in basically everything. I got really interested, and we just steamrolled it, and now we've been training for about 3 years now. We do a lot of online training as well as one-on-one training. We're very advocates for vegan lifestyle. You can build muscle on a vegan diet. It's not a problem. A lot of these bro science out there, a lot of hoopla, a lot of fake. So it's real food, real workouts, real results.
Now about your back, I do know about that. Why don't you if you don't mind, share a little bit about you were looking at surgical intervention and you don't like the knife or the needle. And that's really, because I know you were working out your whole life, and this injury came up, and there was everyone was recommending surgical intervention. There was a lot of pain, and you decided you really didn't want surgery. Is that what sort of spawned it off and got you down this road?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt trapped. I felt like I had no choice but to do surgery. Surgery would have limited my movement, my ability to train. It would have changed a lot in my life, and I did not want to do that. I do have a big phobia with doctors and needles and all that stuff in general too. So my wife and I, we just decided to go vegan, cold turkey. I was really skeptical about it, and it really changed my life. 3 years into it, no surgery, no needles, no drugs, no nothing. And I'm healthy, and actually healthier than I've ever been. So I decided to kind of just not go that route and just train properly with great technique, proper form, light weights, healthy diet. Just try to really be focused, healthy on the inside, and it kind of just really manifests outside. And I'm very happy where I'm at now.
Cool. Parham, I know I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts to ask Ken. And go ahead. I got a whole bunch of stuff, but I want to get you in here too, because I know you have a background in some of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ken, welcome to the Dr. B and Parham show. This is something we do. This is something we do regularly every single Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The audience that we have is actually Doctor. Can you turn down the echo a little bit on your? I think it's on your phone. I might be hearing something on your phone, or something's playing back a little bit. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Ken. So our audience here that's watching us right now, primarily they're here because they follow Dr. B, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's related to his addiction medicine, whether it's related to his specialty in dealing with addictions. However, something that I've noticed every single week when we get on this and talk to people is that they all struggle with the side effects of a sedentary lifestyle, of getting off of substances, of being lack of mobility, of having physical pain problems. So the question I have for you is twofolded. One, how can nutrition help somebody feel better, right? So what is like the correlation between healthy, real food nutrition and overall health and well-being? And the second one is, what kind of basic elementary exercises would someone who is not feeling that well be able to do in terms of small incremental steps to be able to feel a little bit better? So kind of just take us down the basics of those two things.
Absolutely, yeah. When it comes down to food, there's not a lot of science to it. In our Western culture with the food, and you walk down the grocery aisle, everything has preservatives, everything is meant for a long shelf life, and everything is meant to be really delicious with a lot of fat and a lot of additives into it. Really start off with basics. Everything you get is from plants. Vegetables and fruits has all the nutrition you need, has all the protein first and foremost. So that's the biggest question I get asked is the protein. Plants have all the protein you need. You have minerals, you have vitamins, you have phytonutrients. I mean, everything is there. So start off by eating real food. That's really simple. I was actually having a conversation earlier with a friend of mine who loves steak, and he goes, "I just love steak. Steak's so delicious." When you bake steak, you put like a good pound of butter in the skillet and baste the steak with so much butter. If you put anything with that much butter, it's probably going to be delicious. So like broccoli with that much butter, it's going to taste good. So find something that you like and turn it into a plant alternative and cook it the way you like cooked. If you like things grilled, grill it. If you like things sauteed, do that. Just try to find things that you like to make it much easier for you in the process. And then you kind of experiment and elaborate from that. So eggplant steak is a thing. It's delicious. There's vegan butter out there as well too. So yeah, just pop on that butter. Start somewhere with the basics and just get real food. That's first and foremost.
Absolutely. And I watched some of your videos on your Instagram page with some of your clients' transformations from them going from where they started to making progress and where they are. What kind of small incremental changes are important for someone that's like not physically active, not mobile, not moving around, but needs to start moving to feel better? Like, what are some things people can do immediately, regardless of their level of athleticism?
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Walking outside, first and foremost, just walk outside. One, I mean, it's beautiful to be out in nature. Plants, trees, flowers, birds. Just look outside, be outside, get that fresh air, get that vitamin, with the sun. Start off with small goals. Maybe it's you want to walk 5 blocks. Do that, nail it, move on to maybe a quarter mile. Go to a half mile. Go to a mile. Really push yourself and really challenge yourself on how far you can go. But walking it's considered LISS, low intensity steady state. That's a great way for your body fat to shred your body fat. You keep your heart rate at a certain level, and if you do that for a long period of time, you're going to succeed. You're going to lose weight. You're going to feel much better. Your muscles will start moving around. Things will just loosen up, and you'll feel the benefits. I guarantee you within 3 or 4 days. It's so fast and effective. Just get up and walk. You could do it with mileage markers, but also just do it for 20 minutes. Maybe do it for 25 minutes, 30 minutes. If you could do a LISS, low in a steady state, for 45 minutes once a week, oh my gosh, the results will be dramatic. Just start with that, and you'll be surprised.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for that. It's something.
Go ahead.
I always say walking 30 minutes a day, 5 to 7 days a week is a great place to start. And but if something's easy to do, it's also easy not to do. And that's where discipline really kicks in. Is to
Absolutely.
be able to do those small incremental movements to kind of get from point A to point B. That's what I try to encourage everyone here.
Yeah. And you don't need a motivation problem. Everyone has motivation. Everybody knows they want to get healthy. Everyone knows they need to get up and move. So it's not a motivation problem. It's just a doing problem. Just do it. There's no excuses. You have the motivation. Just do it.
This, if I may chime in a little bit here for TikTok and people out there, a couple of things which we never consider, and I just want to bring out why we're doing this with Ken today. Number one, this population cohort of patients, clients, whatever you call them, is already marginalized, okay? And I remember when I was a kid, real young kid, I got in big trouble for something, and I have to go to an AA meeting to see my future outcome. And I was blown away outside at the breaks. These guys were putting away 6 packs of Cokes and would smoke a pack of cigarettes during the break. And I remember thinking, my God, these poor bastards are going to die long before the alcohol is going to kill them. I've never seen such thing, right? And a few things for people to really change the way they approach and think of this. As clinicians, or when we approach a substance abuse client or patient, we're just trying to get them off the meth, the heroin, the Xanax, the goofballs, whatever it is, okay? And, they may be smoking like a chain. Their diet is already poor. And data is very clear that, with substance abuse and alcoholism, you have crappier health outcomes, okay? And this is something SAMHSA is fully aware of. Well, this is a chronic disease. And in all other chronic diseases, you should start promoting a healthy lifestyle with diet and exercise even early in treatment or any engagement the clinician has with this population of patients, because it's almost like pushing them to the side as if they're non-human when the guy walks in there and he's smoking and he's eating a bag of Doritos and he hasn't gone to the gym. Well, guess what? If you are eating well and start becoming health conscious, it's another tool to either get to that place of recovery or readiness to change. And if you're already there, that the evidence is clear, you have a better long shot chance of staying clean. Finally, it's actually the reverse of dehumanizing and stigmatizing this population. It's, if somebody comes in there, whether it's diabetes or heart disease, that's a chronic disease, all primary care doctors advocate and try to do a little bit of education for lifestyle change. And that's how you get paid by Medicare and CMS and all that crap, right? So how is substance abuse any different? He's coming in every week and he bangs some meth. That doesn't mean I shouldn't tell him, you know what, dude, you need to get back on the basketball court and consider getting in the gym and taking that seriously, because it's just another tool to either get the person to have self-autonomy, free will, respect, and also a way for them to see progressive change in actions that they take that is not a dopamine rush of wham, bam, thank you, man. B, it actually works the opposite of dehumanizing them and makes them feel well. And C, it could jump them into recovery much quicker. And for those of you out in TikTok and YouTube land, that's why I brought Ken on, and he's damn good at what he does. So I just wanted to add that in, guys. That's it. That's just my thoughts on that.
You don't need to do anything special, just eat real foods. Try to find an activity you like to do. Maybe you're a swimmer, maybe you're a hiker. Just do something that you like to do, or something you did as a kid, or something you've done in the past, or something you've always wanted to do. I recently picked up golf and surfing. I'm adding that to my repertoire. It's not always about being in the gym and lifting heavy. Just about getting your heart rate up and feeling good and breaking a sweat.
There's one thing here too, guys, with mental health and nutrition. So I've been on the record. Yeah. I think I've been on the record on this channel talking about how food is a drug. So when we're talking about these highly processed, highly saturated with fat, things that we go get in the grocery store in the frozen sections that really have no nutrition in them. However, they have a lot of calories and they make you feel full. They also do something too. They release a lot of dopamine in the brain. That's why when someone's feeling really sad, they might go for the pint of the ice cream, or someone's feeling really sad, they might go for a big, large pizza. And when they eat that food, by the way, to cope with their emotions, right? To deal with their emotions, they eat that food. All of a sudden, all of the food goes into the long intestines and it needs to get digested, right? The long intestines are like 24, 26 feet, something like that. And then the body needs to start digesting that food, right? So blood leaves all of the extremities. It leaves the hands, it leaves the head, it leaves the feet, and it all goes into the stomach to be able to digest that food. And that's why those individuals, they're not feeling as much as they felt before. And also they start to get a little bit tired. You know, we have that thing called the food coma. Have you guys ever heard of the food coma? The food coma, the person might just fall asleep sitting down, right? Because of the amount of food they ate, they might just fall asleep sitting down. So what's the difference between that person, if you take a snapshot, and a person that just took a bunch of opiates and they nodded off, and you walk by and you take a picture side by side with them? They're both using a drug to be able to cope with their emotions. They're both physically knocked out, unable to wake up or function. But one is really shamed and tabooed by society, and the other one is needed for survival, because we actually do need food to survive. And it makes it a lot tougher. You know, I always say the drug dealer could be the drive-through. I mean, that's a very challenging thing for people that struggle with food addictions. So, and we're never taught these things. So what Ken's talking about here, it's really, this information has been out there for a while, my friends. If you just go watch some research, we were talking about a couple documentaries before this, like Forks Over Knives, or there's a really good book called The China Studies, or Game Changers on Netflix, came out a few years ago. There is actual documented information, research on these facts that we're talking about here. However, we're not taught these growing up. You know, sometimes parents are strapped for either cash or strapped for time, and they try to make the most convenient thing that their generation just, that's what you do. And we're not really feeding kids with nutrition, because there is something to here that I want to touch on, and I'll finish. There is a big epidemic in the United States, and I'm not talking about drugs and alcohol. There is an epidemic of type 2 diabetes with children. And a lot of type 2 diabetes happens because of it's lifestyle and sedentary. So it's not moving around and what you consume in your body. And these children are starting to get more obese at rates that we've never seen before. I mean, somewhere I heard there's 1/3 of the United States population is obese, 2/3 are overweight. And we're talking about a population of 350 million people, my friend. So by the year 2025, they say the healthcare system doesn't have the infrastructure to be able to manage the amount of treatment that needs to happen for these children that are going to be patients one day. So this is alarming. This is alarming information that we really need to look into. So, and someone right here asked the question. I'm really curious about this one. Doctor, you might know this, and Ken, you might know, but it might be a Dr. B thing. Is there a connection between opiate abuse and sugar cravings?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that. I was about to answer it. In fact, I put that up on TikTok. You know, when you go down, the sugar is a carbohydrate. If someone doesn't know that, it's a simple carbohydrate, right? So, and Ken knows this as well. So when I get a bunch of candy or a soda, right? That is the sort of the simplest in structure. What that means is it gets absorbed fast. Think of it as Xanax, right? Xanax crosses the blood-brain barrier fast, hits the receptors really quick, and theoretically that increases the potential for addiction and physiological dependence. It's the same thing with insulin and basic sugars, right? That's why you want to get a complex carb. But they also asked something about, and in fact, this was one of the first TikToks I made. They said, what's the most addictive substance in the world? And I said, sugar. And a lot of people made negative comments about that. And somebody just said something here. And let me explain that. When that's a World Health Organization number, data. And how am I making that comment? Because I am looking at the outcomes in terms of societal cost, disease, and death. Sugar is the most addicting thing in the world, and it is addicting. And it actually activates the same areas in the brain. That's why you see someone in recovery, if you put a jar of candy right in front of them, they just go ballistic, right? And so, Sarah, it's not a myth. It is true. And somebody else has something else.
Sarah's actually really knowledgeable, Doc. A few months ago, we did a talk, and I said a few things that were kind of a little bit out of my scope regarding food. And she reached out to me on Instagram, and she had a lot of wonderful insight, and we had a really pleasant conversation. So she actually knows her stuff, and I think she would actually be an asset one day to hopefully come up here and talk about some food stuff. She's very passionate in that realm. So thank you for answering that.
Ken, and Ken, I think you aim for zero added sugars in your diet, right?
Absolutely. a really important aspect of our diet is fiber. Fiber is gigantically huge. It prevents our bodies from absorbing all the sugar right away, spiking up our insulin, just crashing. So fiber is found in fruits. It's not it's not found in animal products. It's actually found in fruits. So the sugar in a banana is 100% different than the sugar you get from soda or from brown sugar, whatever it is. You need sugar from fruits. Have as much. I mean, there's really no limits really to that. You have a lot of fruits. Have a lot of sugars from fruits. Just don't remove the fiber. So like these juice places where they put all this awesome fruit and they juice it all up and they strain all the fiber out and you just get the sugar water that tastes delicious. Sure, it's mango juice is great, but all the fiber is all the important stuff that you need. So if you're gonna make your own juice, put it in a blender, keep all that fiber in there, drink the fiber. That's what your body needs.
Yeah, and you want to stay away from the processed or very simple sugar molecules. Let's see, we have Prospero up here, and then he left. What else we got?
Yeah, if anybody watching has any questions about exercise, nutrition, your recovery, just basic 101 stuff, maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe you're trying to just feel better at the level of the mind, at the level of body. This is a really good opportunity. Ken's a specialist in this field, and I'm really passionate, and Dr. B just knows everything. So it's a really good trio of people to have all together in the same spot.
I don't know if Austin's trying to get on. Let's see if he's trying. Hi, Austin. Are you trying to get on?
Hey, no, I was trying Dr. B, mute your mic when you're not talking, if you could, because we're getting a little bit of an echo.
What do you want me to do?
When you're not talking, just mute yourself.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, that's all right. I didn't mean to come on.
That's awesome. Oh, you're muted there.
Okay. Let me look on. So Ken, we always have this, and then sometimes we get a flood of people that pop on. Some people are shy. People come and ask different kinds of stuff, and that's how we always go.
That's fun. How long has this podcast been going on for?
A couple of months, right?
I'd probably say four months we've been doing this. It's pretty interesting, man. We get people from all over the world. So we'll have the UK, we'll have India, we'll have Serbia, we'll have Australia. Yeah, it's wonderful, man. They just come up here
awesome.
And it's a really valuable resource that's just available, man. And one thing that we always miss, and not just this podcast, the whole recovery community is missing the boat on nutrition. It's when people get clean and sober, which is a lot of people here trying to get off of drugs, they underestimate the power of food in helping them be able to just have less anxiety. One thing they do right off the bat, Ken, is when they get off of drugs and stimulants, they up their intake with like caffeine and nicotine and all those stimulants that kind of get the central nervous system going. And then they have sleep problems at night, which leads to binge eating. I mean, there's like this whole cycle of stuff.
All connected.
It's all connected, man. And it's like, we can't just intervene at the level of, hey, let's get this person off of drugs, but not look at how they're sustaining their life, So, it's just wonderful stuff. It's you're an asset to the recovery community for sure.
Hey, I'm seeing some questions on TikTok. Guys, come on. And it's okay if your questions are about something else. Hop on here and you can ask. There's Prospero. Let's see what we can do for him. Hi.
Hi, how you doing? How you doing, Dr. B?
Good. How are
Prospero?
you?
I'm hanging in there.
Go for it. Let us know how we can help.
I'm not doing too good. I know this probably isn't the topic to be discussing. You guys are talking more about exercise and mental health. I just had some questions about some benzo problems I've been having, and it's been actually stopping me from being able to get to the gym and exercise and eat healthy as well. But currently I'm on 3 milligrams of clozapine. Been back on for about 2 months. Reinstated after being on for a year and coming off with the rapid detox didn't go too well. Long story short, my doctor put me back on, and I'm also on Suboxone. She's also wanting to start me on an antidepressant called Wellbutrin. I'm currently on Celexa. Since the Celexa's not working, she wants to trade out the Celexa for the Wellbutrin. I've been really, really sick lately, and it's been stopping me from doing the things that I want to do, like exercise and get out. And I got a 1-year-old son that wants to do a lot of things, and it's been really hard. I guess what I'm saying is her outlook on the whole benzo and Suboxone thing is, let's get you stabilized on an antidepressant before we remove or start your taper. How do you feel about that? Because it's not going well for me at all.
Tell me what. Prospero, there's limited stuff I can answer because it's a complex case and I don't want to give medical advice. But let me ask you this in general. When you say it's not going well for you, is it the depression? Is there a kind of withdrawal that's going on? Is there cravings? Is it? Tell me what you mean by it's not.
Well, I was doing fine about 3 weeks ago. I got back to work. I was still having some anxiety, but the benzos were kind of covering it, and I was getting through the day. Then she threw the Wellbutrin on me, and within 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I've been so ill. I've been able to do nearly nothing. And I'm confused. I'm not sure if it's a benzo tolerance that's making me sick, or if it's the new antidepressant. Because I have been in benzo tolerant before and felt pretty sick. I'm just not sure where she's trying to go with this, but it's not helping me. And I didn't know if you had a different direction maybe you should try.
Mute, doctor. You're on mute. Dr. B, you got your mute going on.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
I guess what I'm asking is, do you think you can reach a tolerance withdrawal within 2 months?
Do I think what?
Do you think you can reach a tolerance withdrawal within 2 months of taking your benzos?
Can you power through withdrawal of 2 months of taking benzos?
No. Can you reach a tolerant withdrawal?
What do you mean by? Give me a second, because I have a. Are you guys getting an echo? I can barely understand them because I have such a horrendous echo. But I'm not sure if it's me or Prospero. Talk again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if I unmute, okay. So ask it one more time because I think I solved the echo issue.
Okay, I was doing pretty well up until she just put me on the new antidepressant. Now I'm in the middle of not knowing whether I'm going through benzo withdrawal or I'm having side effects from the antidepressant. Can
Yeah.
you go through benzo withdrawal that quick?
Yeah. So how long? Okay. So I think I can answer this. Were you on the benzos long before you started the antidepressant?
About 2 months.
Okay. And was it at a different dose than what it is right now?
No, dose stayed the same.
Okay. So 2 months after you were on the benzos, Klonopin, I think you said a total 1 milligram 3 times a day. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. And then why was the antidepressant initiated? And how long ago was that initiated? 3 weeks ago?
Well, I've been on Celexa for 7 or 8 months, and it seems to not help with my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to try something different. So she wanted to try the Wellbutrin. Her goal is to get a antidepressant working before we begin to taper off of anything.
Okay.
And
When did that Wellbutrin switch occur? 3 weeks ago?
yes, is that about time it takes for it to kick in?
But you're feeling worse now, 3 weeks later.
Yes.
Yeah. So this has nothing to do with your benzo dose. Look, the benzo dose is what the benzo dose is. However, again, I don't have enough information about the rate of change in events that occurred before that. But whatever was going on up to 3 weeks ago, there was no changes in your benzo dosing frequency and so forth. But I'm wondering why she started to change the antidepressants. Something must have been going on. And 3 weeks later, you're more depressed. Would that be a correct? Am I capturing that correctly?
Yes, Dr. B. I'm more than depressed. I'm very, very sick. I feel ill. I actually had to call in from work today because I woke up and I was unable to get out of bed. I'm extremely ill. She wants me to continue it, and I don't think I can continue it. So I think I'm gonna stop taking it.
Well, hold on. But wait 1 second, Prospero. So let me ask you this: when you're saying you're feeling very ill, you just can't get yourself to get out of bed and go to work. Let me ask you this: are you suicidal, or do you want to harm yourself at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, all right. And what state are you in?
Indiana.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay. And were your benzo doses much higher in the recent past within the last year?
No, it's always been the same 3 milligrams. I was on the 3 milligrams for almost a year straight. And then I got off for
Okay.
about 2 months. And I just couldn't do it. I went to a rehab facility and they did a rapid detox and it was way, way too fast.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So I think she has the right idea, but the question is, something is going on in the last 3 weeks, and your depression appears to be getting worse. Are you going to be seeing her soon?
Well, I just seen her recently and her answer was she wanted to up my dose of Wellbutrin.
She wanted to what?
Up my dose.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
But if
Not necessarily. I mean, it's not an outrageous idea, but I just don't know why you switched from the Celexa to the Wellbutrin. Looks like you were already starting to go in a major depressive episode, and she felt that that long-term stable dose of Celexa maybe was not working. I don't know what the dose was, and she chose to switch over to Wellbutrin to mitigate the starting of a major depressive episode. We're 3 weeks into it, and I don't know what the dose is. I'm presuming 150. I don't know if it's XR, EE, whatever. And
Yes. She
yeah,
started off at 150, and the 150 after 3 weeks started to make me ill. Now, keep in mind, my whole theory here is the Celexa must not be working because in between doses of my benzo use, I'm having anxiety. So, what is the goal here? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask. Is it possible to find an antidepressant to fill in those gaps and then taper you off?
potentially. I can't give you a categorical on anything because we're dealing with a human here, and also, I can't answer your case specifically. If the question in general is, can you find a replacement for benzodiazepines when I already have a physiological dependence and possibly addiction, but I do have underlying issue of anxiety and possibly panic attacks, and is this a good strategy if one is to find something that substitutes a benzodiazepine but is not addicting, in this case SSRIs? Is that a viable strategy? And I'm pretty sure that's what you're asking. Sure, it is. Does it take some trial and error at times? Absolutely. Why not? I don't think what she's doing is outrageous, but I do think you should call her and tell her how intolerable your current situation is. I think I understand it, what you're trying to communicate. And that's what I would do, my friend. I would get in there.
I mean, yes, sir. Thank you. My ultimate goal is to taper off of the benzos and the Suboxone, but she thinks and I think I'm not stable enough to make that adjustment yet.
In fact,
So
Prosper, let me tell you, if she's telling you that, I would say that is one of the most insightful, brilliant clinicians I've heard in a long time. Uh, I almost want to get her number because what she's telling you is right on the money. She's slowing you down for what you're going to fail at potentially. And before you even think about Suboxone, you should do a long-term taper of your benzos, and the anxiety crap should be addressed. So I like whoever your physician is.
she's a good psychiatrist, but what I don't like is when I came off of the benzo, I tried to do that on my own. Since I went to a rehab facility, when I got out and I was struggling, she wouldn't reinstate my benzo right away. She said, you've been off long enough to where you should be able to manage. She wasn't knowledgeable enough that withdrawals can be very, very extreme, especially the amount of dose I was taking for the amount of time I was taking it. Her answer to that was to put me on Suboxone for the withdrawals. Now I have had opiate problems in the past. Okay, I admit that. But it hasn't been a problem when she put me on the Suboxone recently. So now I feel like I'm fighting to get off Suboxone and I'm fighting to get off benzos now. And it's just hard. It's hard. I just wanted to verify whether she has some kind of a right plan here, or do I need to?
No, I think it's not a bad. Huh? No, yeah, like I said, I think her. Go ahead.
Do I need to find a second opinion here?
No, I think it's you have established care, and it seems like she relatively knows what she's doing, and I think you just want to go back to her and tell her how difficult it is. Okay, Prospero, and come back and let us know how it's going. Parham, do you have any added thoughts?
For me, hey, bud, I think we were texting earlier, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, well, thank you for reaching out to us. I'm glad you made it on, dude. I'm sorry you're struggling. Some of the things that pop up to me as a clinician, we don't have time to get into all of it, but you did mention that you have a 1-year-old son. I will tell you this, that when someone becomes a parent for the first time, the amount of stress and just the psychological impact post becoming a father is something that no one gets prepared for, and it's not something that you can plan for. So when you're dealing with mental health and anxiety, and you're dealing with depression, and you're dealing with medication adjustments and management and all that kind of stuff, on top of that, you're dealing with that. You're in a really tough spot, man. So I don't know what your support is like. I don't know what your
and I don't have much support. My fiance don't support me, and I have a therapist, but she's not working out too well.
Keep looking, man. Keep looking. You need that. You need that mental health support. You need to be able to have a place that you can go and get right with the thoughts you're having. Because, and the other thing too, you said the symptomology that you're experiencing because of your mental health, not being motivated to do the little things. It's those little things like walking around the block, even though it sounds like you have zero motivation to do it. Those are the exact things that you need to be doing. And the second thing about nutrition, man, water. It's such a powerful tool to help balance the balance, just your entire being, your entire being. So, Doc, I said something there that you kind of got excited for. So feel free to share.
I was about to say that, since we're talking about nutrition and we just lost Ken. Hopefully, Nicole, can you help Ken come back on? And Alex, you're next. And I see a couple of other questions here. But I think you need to stay well hydrated. Don't rely. This is a great point, and it's a great show for it. And start taking that walk, man, because let me tell you, I have found it to be so therapeutic in my life recently, as I'm going through a lot of stressors. In fact, when you don't want to do it, get your butt up and go for that walk. Believe it or not, man, you're going to hit anxiety and every other issue here. And keep us updated. Let us know how it's going, okay?
When's a good time to tap back in so we can talk more?
Well, we're here every Monday. Every Monday, we want to know how things are going. Tap in. We can give you 5 minutes, depending how many people are waiting, and we just will try and support you as best as we can.
Like I said, I know you got to get off here. I'm just not doing too well with the Wellbutrin, and you said just be honest with her. I just feel like I'm over medicated. I got the Suboxone, the Clonopin, the Wellbutrin, the Celexa, and it's making me sick to the point where I'm nauseous. I can't eat, and it's hard, man. And like he said, I got a 1-year-old that I got to keep going for, and every day he depends on me, and I can't give up. But I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to tapering and when it's time and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully, when I reach back out to you,
let her drive the bus, man.
Okay.
You're in our thoughts, and just ping back in with us and let us know how it's going, and we'll support you as best as we can. Okay, buddy?
Thank you, doctor.
You got it, bud. Take care.
Okay. We lost Ken. We need to get him back in here because I see a couple of things on him, and we got Alex who wants to pop on here, and we'll get him on here. And we had a couple of things on here that they were asking that Ken might know the answer. Let's get Alex up. Hey, Alex, what's up, man? Hey, how are you?
Hi, Dr. B. All right, how are you? Hi, Parham.
Good. What's going on? How are you? What's good? How you been?
I've been all right, just trying my best with everything with the situations that I've been dealing with for a while. I don't know where to start. Kind of nervous about being here, but I always watch your videos, and it's a pleasure to actually finally speak to you.
Thank you. I
But
feel the same.
yeah, you're a good man. You're a good man. But where do I start? Let's see. I don't know. Everyone speaks about medication. I've been on alprazolam since 2007, and I went through a divorce in 2017, and I've been taking care of my daughter since she was 1.5. Now she's 5 years, 7 months, and the mother wants nothing to do with her. But as far as I'm prescribed this for severe panic attacks, and I lived in California for 10 years, and then we relocated to New Mexico. And it's hard to find a good doctor to understand what the situation is. I'm at a grieving loss with my ex-wife, and it's very hard to be a single sole father. I have a beautiful girl, and you know um, I'm basically at this time. They put me on 7 milligrams of alprazolam, which is a very, very high dose. And then I'm on 6 milligrams of alprazolam. And, I tried myself to say, let me cut down all by myself. And, it was a very, very hard situation, physically, mentally, as you've talked about. It's all those different types of things that pop up. And, I was prescribed this medication for a reason, I believe, in 2007. So now, this doctor I'm working with, is saying, okay, well, you have, I was on with three tablets a day. So that's 90 tablets a month, 2 milligram tablets. So he said, let's cut them, 2 tablets every month. And I see that as a reasonable plan. But the thing is, he doesn't give me a plan, to see. He says, I'm not going to give you a plan of when you should cut down or how you should be taking this medication or anything like that. I've been depending on people like you yourself, Dr. B, on strategies on how to do this. And, it's really tough when you don't have a doctor who's there to say, who blatantly says, hey, I'm not going to make you a plan. You just do this by yourself. And it's really hard because I'm a sole father. It's all me. So I don't know what to do. Before this, I was living a good life. I was making, I had a great job, $45 an hour. I was like 230 pounds. I lost a lot of weight because this divorce. The panic is at its high time level, and it's hard. Sorry. I can't hear you. I don't know why.
We got him. He'll be on.
Either Parham and I have a lot to say. Parham, should I go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, go for it. He's been following you for a while.
All right. My first question. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay. I'm going to be a little rapid fire, Alex. So I can. You're in New Mexico now, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you moved out there when?
2018.
Okay. All right. And when was this separation from the wife?
Well, she left August 2017.
Okay. All right. And how long were you married before that?
7 years.
Okay. And did you have anxiety or panic attacks before all of this shit went down?
Yes, I did, because I was in a really awkward situation back in 2007. And, I went to the hospital and they gave me this medication and it was successful. And then I went to a therapist and then he gave me, the moralprazolam.
Okay. So you've been on a Xanax since 2007?
Yes. And I have I've never asked for an early refill. I've always taken it according to the doctor. I have no other drug use or anything like that.
Okay. And do you get any mental? Are you seeing a therapist at all right now?
Well, it's only by the telehealth because of this COVID stuff. And in New Mexico, where I'm at, there's like no resources.
And this,
I was in San Diego. I was in San Diego, La Jolla, UTC area, for 10 years.
And so you lost also, you said, a lot of weight after all this divorce and stuff, huh?
Yes.
And
yes.
How do you think you're doing right now in general?
I'm very sad.
Is it still because of the separation and the kid and it's taxing as shit, right? So I just want to get an idea so I can give a big picture. So here's my take on this situation. I don't know what the event was in 2007. I also don't know more detailed background history on you. Damn, we lost that thing again. But it looks to me that it's heavy, the stuff that's going on. Number one, I think you do need good mental health. But as far as the Xanax goes, I think that was the wrong medication probably to give and escalate up to this point. And what happens is as things happen in life, like this shitty divorce that happened, what are you going to do? You got to go up on the dose. And it looks to me like at the root of it, you probably didn't have substance abuse issues because you've been able to maintain staying within that dose range that they allow. I would have personally put you on a long-term medication here, and at the same time start pretty heavy mental health, social, whatever it is. I'm going to let Parham stick to that. But this stuff is heavy. But I think and then since we're on this topic and we have Ken here, if we can, I hope he can hear us. If we have Ken here, I think this whole issue of diet and exercise, I have recently found, like I said, I was looking up the literature right before this. As things go to shit, so does our lifestyle in terms of what we eat, because that eating almost becomes, 2 a.m, making a McDonald's run or whatever it is, almost feeds. It's that quick fix and things get worse. That's how I would approach it. I think Parham's going to have a good experience. So Parham, go ahead. I mean, that's my thoughts, Alex. I do think you need a better plan, but I think it could be changed around where it's less toxic.
So a better plan, meaning a different medication, the crossover as you speak of.
Yeah, I mean, long time ago, I would have did a cross tolerance to a long-acting benzo. I would have evaluated for panic issues, and then boom, let's say this thing happens. I would have really kept you on a close leash and made sure you don't, try and make sure you don't deteriorate. So doing that in addition to mental hygiene, and then in addition to, like I said, you actually mentioned how much weight you lost. This is where. In fact, just this morning, I was looking up some more of this literature with even without substance abuse, which yours is not really substance abuse, it's physiological dependence in addition to mental health. For the worst case of mental health stuff like access 1 disorders, schizophrenia, bipolar, people that take care of their diet and exercise have better outcomes. So all those things. But since, I'm just a dumb prescriber, so I would have switched you over to a long-acting, and to make sure I really control increasing dose, because what happens is there's a desensitization of the receptors as shit piles on, and then I would have turned you over to someone like Parham. Parham, I know you got quite a bit to
I'm
say
here.
there.
Yeah, Alex, it's first of all, I want to commend you on your ability to come on such a platform and feel safe enough to share what you just shared and to open up your truth and your honesty about your struggles that you're going through right now, right? That is the first step of feeling better. I know it sounds like right now it's you're not really seeing that much light, and you feel in your stuck place and you're feeling hopeless. But I hear you. I hear your kid next to you right there. I know you're trying the best that you could possibly do right now, and coming here and talking to Dr. B and trying to get some grounding, something that it's a good start. And I can tell you, this is a mental health professional. When anyone talks to me about anxiety and somebody talks about me about panic attacks and feeling overwhelmed, and I could see it, man. I could see it as we're talking. I mean, there's been moments that you forgot to breathe, and it's not that you don't know how to breathe. It's because your mind gets so consumed with thoughts that the automatic kind of process of taking deep breaths and holding it in your and holding it in your lungs and having your lungs expand and exhaling that oxygen, that stress that you're holding on to. If you repeat that process, man, go look up some, even if you don't have resources, go look up some breathing exercises. Go look up box breathing. Go look up guided visualizations. I know these are things that might be like, hey, how is that going to help me? But those things are going to help, and I'm a big believer, when you take the body, the mind will follow. So it's really hard to be able to change your thoughts on your own. But if you move your body, sometimes the thoughts follow, man. Sometimes we find a little bit of relief. And I'm not saying, hey, if you're experiencing 9 out of 10 anxiety, it's going to take your anxiety away. But it might take it down to like a 6 out of 10. And at a 6 out of 10, you might be able to feel like you're gaining yourself back. So even with limited resources in your local area, the internet is a wonderful tool for anxiety, for stress. Don't underestimate the power of YouTube and what you can find on it for what you're going through. And, stay connected with Dr. B. It sounds like you trust his word and you've been watching his videos for a while. Stay connected to this man about your medications, because I cannot unfortunately comment on that. But about the mental health stuff, you do need support. This is the first step in that direction, and continue seeking that, because I'm telling you, you will get through this if you keep staying strong the way you're staying right now. You're going to get through this. This is not the hardest thing in your life that you're ever going to overcome. And I appreciate you coming and sharing with us. I promise you helped a lot of moms and dads out there that might be struggling the same way you are.
Alex, hold on. Parham just made me think of something. So a couple of weeks ago, I brought on, and in fact, Parham, it was Ken that, what is the app I use, Ken? The one you recommended originally.
The Balance.
Balance. So if you guys
Great
recall a couple of weeks ago, you guys didn't know Ken, but for the last couple of years, I've been trying these apps, and they're all okay. Something about this app, Balance, and you can get the free version. Alex, download Balance on your phone. And, Ken told me to try it, and I was like, it's just another bullshit app, because they're so complicated to use. This thing is like so easy. And if you really push every day, it's really simple to use, as little and short as 3 minutes. Trust me, I've been using it now for a few weeks. And sometimes I talk to Ken about it. In the last week or so, I have to get up I've been getting up at 4 a.m., 4:30. First thing I do is I sit down, and even if I'm really anxious because I got a million things to do, I do 3 minutes of Balance. I went back to Ken and I said, dude, this stuff is really good. And it's really mindfulness techniques. I don't know, Ken, do you have anything else? I know you've been using it a long time as well.
Yeah, I was a big skeptic. Ego did a lot of damage to me in my early years, and I didn't want to believe in something like meditation. But I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now, and it's one of those things that there's a couple things in your life that can really change your life, and it's amazingly huge. Meditation, 3 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, great way to start your day. It helps put the power back into your mind of the breathing technique, the box breathing technique you're speaking of. 3-5-7. Breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, breathe out for 7 seconds, and repeat. Do that just for maybe 4 or 5 rounds, and it'll really put you in a much better place. meditation is it's, I can't stress enough how much it could really help, or something. It has so much value.
And Alex, I'm going to add one more thing to you for this. Don't take any of this advice as passive. And let me tell you something. I see your it's a little girl, right?
Yes.
I see your little girl there. And me and you both know. I understand the shit going through your mind, and you go over it over and over and over and over again. Listen, you have to. You don't have a choice. This is personal advice to you, not professional advice of any sort. This is me, from man to man, right? You have to figure out whatever it is the hell that you got to do to stand up, right? Because you have a categorical obligation to bring this young lady up into this world as healthy as you can, given the resources and tools that have been thrown at you, which sound like they have been cut off. You don't have a choice. So as shitty as you feel, right, figure out a thoughtful, sober-minded way. And every time something, let's say you're thinking about the ex or whatever it is. I don't know if she did you wrong or not. That's your business. But whatever it is, stop yourself right there and ask yourself, is what I'm doing productive to making myself healthy? Because if I'm not there for this young lady, who's going to be there? And do that every day. And if you fail, wake up the next day and try again. And I think that's the best advice I can give you. So take the app seriously, take diet and exercise seriously, take your mental health hygiene seriously, and think about it, and come back and keep us updated. We'll guide you as best as we can, man. And I think if you go out there in the community here on the right, people like Nicole, everyone's down, man. Everyone's got your back.
I appreciate that. That's great advice. As far as my ex goes, she, like I said, I'm a sole parent. I try to tell her to talk to her daughter, and she doesn't want to do that. I'm not one of those parents who say, "Oh, I'm going to cut them off," and this and that. I try to find ways to, and it's been 4 years, and it's more, that she doesn't want to be involved or see her or talk to her, by video call, and here I am on YouTube talking to you guys, but she can't do that, and it's hard. But yeah, you're right, and I know that. And that's what's killing me in a way, is because I have to, like, let's say if something does happen to me, what's gonna happen? So I have to do something, I don't know what to do. And it's like, I have no support, from family. My mother's boyfriend is very constrictive. She's possessive. She's had multiple sclerosis since 1987. I wanted to move to Pennsylvania so we could see each other like once a month, but he won't let us move to Pennsylvania, and that's all my mother really wants, and make my life complete. And my father lives in Ecuador. It's just hard, I don't know. I'm sorry for rambling.
No, I want to give you one last little piece of feedback. I promise, guys. So you can't control what the mom does. You can't control what they do, and it almost seems silly, right? You're like, hey, just pick up the phone and talk to her. So you know what? Forget about it. At the same time, keep a couple of things in mind. This is hard. Number one. Don't even worry about judging her, right? If she ever wants to engage, let her engage. Number two, make sure you never say anything bad to your daughter in front of your daughter. Keep that shit as far away from your daughter. That stuff will impact her. That's it. Other than that, yeah, and it's sad that you think you're on your own, but as you move forward on a road to deal with all this crap, and always find somebody smarter and better than you to tell them, be honest, because sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. So I find somebody smarter in that area than me and knows how to do it. And I was joking around with one of these guys the other day saying, dude, I like to plagiarize. I always find somebody that knows the stuff that I need to know, right? And then I and then I copy them. And so do that, man. It's all good. And then don't be, don't be malicious about it, but don't worry about them. And at the same time, don't grow resentment and hatred for them. And always stay focused around the young lady. And we do the best we can. Someday everything's gonna. Well, we got to answer for something, I think. And that's it. We're here for you, man.
I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
All right, Alex. Peace.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Hey, Doc, there was a question at 6 o'clock that's related kind of to our topic. I just want to make sure we cover it real quick. 6 o'clock, Debbie Tucker, the timestamp's at 6 p.m. Ken, you might be able to help with this one, maybe. It says,
you mean this one? Yeah.
No, not the love you. It's same person, though.
I'm kidding. Let me
6
see.
p.m.
Yeah. 6 p.m.
6 p.m. It says, are there plant-based foods to help detox the liver? So pretty much asking what type of plants, if any, are helpful for the liver.
There was a couple of them for Ken, and go ahead, Ken. I mean, I don't have any thoughts on that, but go ahead, Ken. If you have any thoughts.
You're on mute, I think, Ken.
I'm seeing the iron deficiency.
Wait,
Doctor has the question up on the screen.
It's on the screen, Ken.
Oh, perfect.
I don't know what your thoughts on this. Are there plant-based foods to help detox the liver? I have some thoughts, but Ken.
Dark leafy greens are going to be your best bet. So a lot of kale, a lot of spinach. That's going to be great. Also, beets. Beets is a nitric oxide, so it actually expands your blood vessels, a lot more blood flow going, get some more healthy blood in there. And then with your water, that's going to really flush things out. So dark leafy greens, beets, lots of water.
Good, thanks. There was another one for Ken up here, and I lost these.
There was one at 5:45 by Lisa Martinez. 5:45 p.m. timestamp.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's the one I was looking for.
Maybe the one above it too. It was a little bit more in depth question. There we go. So it says I have the same issues with anxiety. Doctors push medications, but pretty much she wants to know any tips in regards to nutrition and exercise to help with anxiety.
Yeah, breathing. So meditation can be great, but a lot of the breathing techniques. It seems so simple that you don't want to even try it. But when you get that anxiety spike, what happens, just take some really big, deep breaths. There's a technique where you could hold in your core, and it allows your rib cage to expand to get more air into your lungs. Nice big breaths. You could go with maybe like a 4 second inhale, 7 second pause, 8 second inhale. That really will limit your flight or fight response, which is really associated with anxiety. It'll really bring those levels down. Just 3 or 4 rounds of that will be huge.
Is that called diaphragm breathing?
It is. Yeah,
okay, cool.
Diaphragm, yeah. It's great. Just the idea just opens up your lungs, because you could breathe through your back, you could breathe through your belly, but you really want to expand your rib cage and get that air into your lungs. When it comes to exercise, everyone's a little bit different, but putting in that hard work, whatever that may be for you, will do the trick. So, for example, I hate running. Running is really tough for me. So if I just do like a 30-second sprint, I will start sweating, endorphins roll in, and I just feel amazing. It's hard to get to doing it, but once you do it, the feeling is almost euphoric. Getting small wins like that will definitely help you with that anxiety. So break that sweat, whatever it is for you. I could Stairmaster for an hour, no problems. But you ask me to sprint for 30 seconds and game over. But whatever that is for you, just break that sweat, get that heart rate level elevated, and that'll be the trick.
Cool. You're mute, Doc.
Oh.
You're Doctor, you're on mute. Yep.
Oh, also,
Yeah, I gotta find
stay away from caffeine with the anxiety. That's the anxiety enhancer right there. So the caffeine, the coffee, just try to stay away from that.
I'm looking. Hey, Nicole, do you want to ask Ken something? Pop on and ask. There was a bunch of little things here because I know Nicole had a couple of questions for you. Can you get? Oh.
I know there was a few more. Let me see if I can find them.
Yeah, I saw a couple pop up, and there was a couple on TikTok, but then we lost Ken.
I saw one about iron, iron deficiency.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that one.
I'm not sure where it is, but I just remember seeing that, and I'm like, I gotta
Guys, get
screenshot
on
that here.
TikTok, get on YouTube and ask your questions. There's Nicole in the dark.
Hey, Dr. B. Hold on. Let me go on.
I'm going to put myself on mute.
Yeah, put yourself on mute. Okay, here I go, guys. So, Ken, I've been sober for 6 years, and when I first got into recovery, I did things so ass backwards. I was so hyper-focused on staying away from drugs and alcohol that I found myself becoming just addicted to food. I just love to eat. I mean, it's kind of in my genes. My mom's Mexican and my dad's Italian. But it became like such a problem to the point where I was like finding myself binge eating at night, like really late at night. And so just recently I started a weight loss journey. I've lost 20 pounds, but now like I'm trying to learn how to like eat healthy. I know I need to move my body and exercise. And I know if I do move my body and exercise, I'll feel a lot better. But do you have any like suggestions or any kind of tips and tricks that you would suggest to people that are in recovery that struggle with motivation anyway because they're coming off drugs, and so they're kind of like I have a lot of like, it's hard for me to have pleasure in things because the pleasure that I did have for so many years was like so high because of all the stimulants and crazy drugs I was using.
Yeah. For the binge eating, it's very common. It's called comfort food for a reason. It helps you. It does. There's a lot of different things that it makes you really feel better. So one, to eliminate that is just to be careful of what you stock in your pantry. Be careful what you have access to. If it's easy access, it's hard to have that self-control. So when you wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and you just have that craving, it's hard to be on point. So first and foremost, if you do wake up or you have these crazy cravings, one, we don't have. There's a difference between being hungry with cravings, or your body needs nutrients. So we're born with this idea that we have the feeling that when we're hungry, we need nutrients. So our body isn't craving for a cheeseburger. We're craving for a cheeseburger, but our body's not. Our body's actually craving nutrients, vitamins. That's what it needs. So we're looking for calorically or nutritionally dense food. We want foods that have a lot of nutrition, a lot of nutrients in it, not a lot of calories in it. So when we fill our stomachs up with food, a tablespoon of oil won't make you full, but a half a pound of lettuce can make you full. That's how our bodies are work. So you have to decide whether it's a craving or whether you want something delicious because your body wants it, or your body needs and craves nutrition. So first and foremost is grab some water. Drink some water right then and there. It's going to really kind of set you up and make you realize whether it's a craving or whether it's something really, really needed. Second is find some great alternatives that you like to snack on. For me, I like rice cakes. I like cinnamon rice cakes. It's delicious. I'll put a banana on that. I'll put some peanut butter on that, and it's real food. It's real food that'll make you it'll fill you up. It'll feel good. It's delicious, and it should definitely limit the negatives of binge eating. So it fills you up. Find something there it is right there. It's so good. But
I
peanut
think
butter.
that is my problem, is that I'm so used to having fast food access, not even going out to eat fast food, but I'm talking like something to pop in the microwave. Just like a little, my husband is obsessed with these damn donut sticks. And I really think that part of coming off opiates, like it's like just sugar nonstop all the time. And so I basically have to separate my whole diet from my husband and my son because they're both genetically skinny. But I can literally look at a donut stick and I gain like 50 pounds. It's sucks.
It's tough. It's really really tough. When you really break things down, if you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, it's something really simple with it's called energy balance. It's calories in versus calories out. So it's okay to eat. I love to eat. Eating is great. Eat real foods. That's the difference. It's really easy to eat bad foods. I have such strong feelings against McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell because they're really leading the major cause of what's wrong with the world. I mean, we're all getting sick. During the pandemic, what stayed open? Liquor stores stayed open. Fast food stays open. We need real foods in our bodies. So these things are not helping anybody at all. It's not helping your body. It's not helping your body with nutrients. It's all garbage. It's going to make you feel worse. Not only is the food going to make you feel worse, but you're going to mentally feel bad. You're going to feel guilty about that food, and it's just a really, really bad place to be. So you're going to have to make an attention, or intention every morning, or if you're going to go out and you're driving, make the intention that you are not going to have fast food today, or I'm not going to have fast food tomorrow. Make this intention and try to stick with it. These small wins are going to really add up, and it's going to change you. So you don't have to cut things off cold turkey. And it's not about limiting what you like to enjoy. You should find things that you enjoy, but it has to be in moderation and it has to just be real foods. So, I love baked goods. I love cookies. Cookies are like my thing. Every Sunday, I'll go through a bag of cookies, and I'm okay with it. I don't feel guilty because I worked hard throughout the week and I planned for it. So I said, hey, on Sunday, I'm going to have my cookies or I'm going to have some donuts. And it's okay because you plan for it and you're going to allow your body to enjoy something that you like. It's not about eliminating things or eliminating things you like. It's about making the correct choices. And once you make, string a bunch of good choices together, you're going to feel great. So maybe tomorrow, say no fast food. See how that goes. And then maybe the next week, say, Mondays and Thursdays, no fast food. And string these victories together, and soon enough, that's going to change. Your lifestyle will change.
Nicole, if I may chime in here, Ken just made me think of something. Sometime back, and I started to notice how what Ken does in general is very analogous to our approach to substance abuse, right? Very much. And so one of the things he told me at one point was the diets suck. And I myself have never dieted in my entire life. It's not even something that resonates. But he said it's about a lifestyle change, right? Because food is truly one of the most pleasurable. Not only is it necessary from a biological perspective, but there's a spiritual aspect to it and a pleasurable aspect. And it's something I've always been fascinated with. So the kind of thing that he's talking about is a lifestyle change. Number two, I don't believe radical changes and expectations, because like substance abuse, it sets you up for guilt, failure, and shame. Right? There has to be a readiness to change, and it could be little by little. And he's pointing it out to those victories. What he just said is how I manage my methamphetamine patients. They come in every week. How many days did you use? What? 3? Oh, okay. What triggered it? We talk about it. We dissect it. You beat 2 days versus the 5 days. Awesome. You kicked ass. Let's go for one more less day next week. And if you fail, that's okay. But think about how good you felt. And I think that's really important. And all of this takes time. But I think it's important. I just wanted to note that because it's something Ken brought to my attention some time back. It's a lifestyle change. And then afterwards, you do the traditional motivational interviewing like you do in substance abuse. Well, what are the positives about eating that Del Taco at 3 in the morning? Well, it makes me feel damn good and it tastes good. Okay, what are the negatives? Well, I feel like shit the next day and this, that. Okay, so, obviously it does some good for you, right? Just like heroin does. And so I found some of the stuff that he refers to, guys, to a good approach is the same way we do harm reduction and substance abuse and take out the guilt and shame. And then same with substance abuse, I think educating yourself gives you tools and empowers. And I just wanted to add that into all the stuff that Ken was saying.
Well, listen, I'm going to say one thing before I leave. One thing that I have noticed is that I'm binging less. And when I binge at night, if I binge on like a Tuesday night, what I used to do is I'd say, fuck it. I ruined it. I'm off track. I might as well just binge for the rest of the week, right? I'm not doing that anymore. If I have one binge night where I wake up and I have cookies and a glass of milk or something stupid like that, I get right back on track the next day. And that's why I think I've been able to let go of these 20 pounds. I've also been eating at a calorie deficit. Like no matter what I eat, I'm eating less calories than I'm burning more calories than I'm taking in. And so I've been paying like close attention to just what calories I'm taking in. And I haven't walked, I haven't went and worked out or nothing. So if I just started walking like in the evening times, I know that I would lose weight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like getting on track with it. But I'm telling you, I know because of my addiction and because of just the way I am, that it was like I knew this was going to happen to me, and I wish that somebody had been around to tell me when I was in early recovery, like just getting started. Nicole, make sure that you're working on your health. Make sure that you're taking care of your body. And now that's what I want to make sure that I let other people know who are just getting sober. Like, don't do like I did. Don't wait until you're 6 years sober and over 200 pounds to get yourself back, because now I'm struggling and it's depressing, and I want to hide out. I don't want to go anywhere because I'm so ashamed of how heavy I've let myself get. But I know that I have to change something, and I know that I have to get out in order to get better. So I just don't want other people to make the same mistake I did, and be miserable like I am. And so anyway, thanks for letting me share. I get a little emotional sometimes when I talk about things like this, because it's very vulnerable for me to talk about my weight and my struggles with my weight. So I hope it helps somebody else. And I'll get off here so somebody else can share. Okay, I love you guys.
No, Nicole, hold on. No.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Let me ask Parham something and let them chime in. No, we love you, man. It's shared with us. If someone comes on, we'll know. And I got to go soon, but I want to ask Parham, how much did exercise and your nutritional intake play a role in your early years and even now?
Diet and nutrition currently is the most important element of my life.
Really?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I believe that you are what you eat. I mean, literally, you are what you eat. And I do believe in whole foods, and I believe in plant-based nutrition. I've been a vegan for four years. And it really helps. But Nicole, I'll tell you this, there's something you asked about people in recovery. I would strongly suggest you look into something called intuitive eating. It is a form of therapeutic modality that changes your relationship with food. So the relationship that human beings have is usually one that is rooted in their upbringing. You started off saying, hey, I'm Italian and Mexican. So there's this bias that goes into what that means and what those typical cultures would eat. Persians would have the same thing too, just so you know. And it's this story that we keep telling ourselves. It's a story that you've told yourself about who you are around the topic of food, that story needs to get smashed. That story needs to get broken, because the end result of that story that you believe has gotten you to this point that you're at right now. And until you change that narrative of yourself and your relationship with food, for example, a small point that intuitive eating would kind of teach right there, when you say you're on your weight loss journey, congratulations, first and foremost, that is a big deal. The change to that would be, we call a healing journey. Because when you do change your nutrition and I don't use the word diet, when you change your nutrition and you go into a whole food type menu of items that you eat from, losing weight is a secondary byproduct that will happen as a result of that. You don't even have to look at the scale as long as you're eating real food. So one of the important parts, I'll tell you the 10 keys of intuitive eating is reject the diet mentality, honor your hunger. So it's okay to be hungry. It's a matter of what we eat. Make peace with food, right? There's like these foods that we have like this really dysfunctional relationship with. Sounds like cookies and milk was yours. To just make peace with that. Challenge the food police, and that's kind of what's bad and what's good, that kind of stuff that we go through. Discover the satisfaction factor, like when are you actually satisfied? And drinking some water before eating meals will help you understand that a lot quicker. Feel your fullness, to actually feel that your body is full and nutrition and has received nutrition. And here's another one: cope with your emotions with kindness. So to not be so harsh and critical on ourselves because we chose to binge with food, to have compassion towards yourself, to literally love yourself. And then the next one is to respect your body. The one after that is to move, to feel the difference. And the last one is to honor your health. Gentle nutrition. So small incremental steps in the right direction over time will get you there, right? So you have a whole narrative of who you are as an upbringing and got you here. 6 years clean and sober right now. The time to look into the next phase of your recovery is now, because if no one taught you this growing up, 5 years from now, you're going to look back to this video talking to us right now and say, I figured it out at that point, and you're going to feel really proud of that. So thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing with us. I do believe that nutrition is the most important element of mental health and moving the body also. So keep trucking on that journey. You're going to get to good places.
Guess what tomorrow is? Dr. B.
6 years?
Tomorrow's my 6 years sober.
Wow. So that's amazing. Congratulations. The times are good. Yeah, it's going by. And, with that, this could be a new journey. And Parham said something, and actually Ken and I talked about this. Whenever you get really start this, when you'll start it. But here's the thing. You might sit there and say, man, I should have done this 3 years ago, 6 years ago. And I think, like I said, Ken and I have this discussion about this often. Well, no, the time is now. And this will be let's say you start today or whatever and start moving towards this. And when you get there in 3-4 months, you'll be like, man, why didn't I do this 5 years ago? I'm doing so great. And, Ken often says, well, this is the best nutrition state you've ever been in your life. And, this is the time. And this is important for especially substance abuse population, because it's about readiness to change in the here and now, and forget the past in terms of regrets and guilt, but learning lessons, everything you've gained. And what Parham just spit out is actually really works well with the model that Ken presented, and this whole, I like it a lot. So it is what it is, and it is today, and it was meant for today. And I think a lot of people out there this resonates with. On the other side of all this, guys, is especially with the female population, they'll get into smoking or even methamphetamines or anything for staying thin. That's just as destructive as if you go ballistic the other way around. In fact, it's probably often more destructive because their nutritional state goes to crap. And that's something we can talk about in the future as well.
Well, that's how my addiction started, was because I was younger and I had an eating disorder. I was starving myself. Then I found phentermine. I got a prescription of phentermine at 14 years old. And then it was off to the races, cocaine, methamphetamine. And once I found meth, and I was like, shoot, I can have all the power and energy and be skinny. But then after years of abusing methamphetamine and changing to injecting it, then everything in my body just started falling apart. Like my face looked horrible. I was sunken in. I had pick marks all over my skin. I was, tracks all over my arms. And so it actually started doing the opposite, where I was so concerned about my looks and being skinny. Now I'm strung out and I look horrible. And so I would rather be chunky and sober any day than to be skinny, strung out, and sickly looking, for sure.
Yep. I see some questions also on TikTok. but we got to close, guys. Yeah, the way you do this is you come on the YouTube channel, Dr. B Addiction Recovery, and there's a way that kind of lets you get on. We got to kind of close. It's an hour and 40 minutes, Parham, and I have to go to check on things. Well, let's see. I think I may have. Oh, Red Dragon, did you have a? I think she was saying some stuff. I think I got to close, guys. Any final thoughts from you? You know, this was great with Ken, and I have ideas of if he ever comes back and joins us again.
Anytime.
To really utilize it, because I keep forgetting he's a wealth of information. Again, guys, Ken, you know, I don't put my stamp on anyone for what it's worth. Maybe I'm an idiot, but Ken's a rock star. He has KT Fitness on TikTok. Are you on TikTok, Ken?
Instagram.
Well,
I'm working on the TikTok. Just on Instagram right now. KT Fitness Co.
Instagram, and I think they have a YouTube. Hey, Nicole, you left without saying bye. Bye, Nicole. So you guys give us some closing words, and let's close it off here.
Yeah, no, this was definitely a passion project of mine, and it's something that I live and breathe on a daily basis. It's a priority in my life, and it's something that I'm very conscious of, and I'm constantly getting educated on. So what I knew, you know, last week, last month, last year, even though a lot of it's valuable, I'm always learning to see how I can optimize my health through real food and real nutrition.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I think ideas keep coming to me, but after today, I realized that I should really take this on as something that I push on my patients as well. Because I just this last few weeks, I was like, it's not even something you think about, because you're like, wow, this guy's, you know, putting a needle in his arm and goofballing. Let me get him to that. But I think it's right off the bat, I'm going to start incorporating it into my care as a chronic disease package. And it's important. Ken, you are awesome. I know you personally. I know the quality of the work you do. It's almost magical. And we would love it if you could come back on. And like I said, guys, KT Fitness, he's on Instagram right now. He has online stuff. In fact, his wife is involved in the same thing. And they're amazing people. So we really thank you for coming on, and we'd love to have you on again.
Anytime, definitely.
Thanks, Ken.
Let me get off TikTok. I'm getting off, guys. Next week, same thing. And by the way, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm running a little bit behind. She mentioned fentanyl. I'm on my stimulant series with amphetamine-like substances, and it's coming out soon. Let me say bye to TikTok. Bye, TikTok. Thanks for being there. Okay, YouTube. Thank you guys for coming on. We got to run. And we always Parham, you have any ideas what next week is?
Not at this moment. I'll look at the calendar and see what's happening in the world at that time. Maybe there's some historical or anniversarial things going on. And if anybody is ever interested in any topics, feel free to send them to us, and we will gladly cover them.
Yeah. Let me get on. So thank you, guys. I'm going to end them. Hold on.